What is goody, my gang? No clue why I said that, but today's day 865 of my self-improvement journey. 865. Dude, 1 year ago, on this exact day, was day 500, and I did 500 pull-ups. I can't believe that was 1 year ago. But today, I want to make a video. I want to start making these daily videos again up until day 1000. Day 1000 is the day I'm going to finish my 4th book. That's the plan on that day, not before, not after, on day 1000, September 4th, 2025. I want to finish my 4th book. And then the series will be done. But I want to, after that, I'll still upload, but it'll be more like, it'll either be like once a week or 2 times a month or once a month or something. Like, still upload, but not as frequent. But I want to try and upload, finish strong for until day 1000, instead of just uploading these 1 videos a month right now that I've been doing. So today I want to talk about what I've been doing. I've been writing my book. I wrote 2,000 words today, so that's really cool. I was only gonna write 1,000, so I'm currently at 258,000 words. I have about 250 to 300,000 words left in my book. It's a lot. That is a lot. But I've also been reading this book. This book is actually really good so far. Court of Thorn and Roses. I really like this book a lot so far. Currently on page 126 out of 400 something, 416. And I really like it so far. I'm gonna read more tonight, that's for sure. I don't have homework, and it's only not even 5:30, so I'm gonna read this a good amount tonight. I'm gonna try and finish it before the end of April. But what I really want to talk about in this video is what I want to do for May. Okay, so back in November, I did a crazy writing challenge, NaNoWriMo. I like to call it Nano War because it basically was a war. I wrote 150,000 words in 28 days. Okay. It was gonna be I wanted it to take the whole NaNoWriMo, but it only took 28 days, so 2 less days. And one of those days, November 17th, I wrote 20,000 words on that one day. So that was crazy writing. I've made so much progress with writing my books. A lot of progress. I've written almost 1 million words in 2.5 years. But I haven't really been reading that much. Okay, last year, 2024, I read 10 books. 2023, probably less than that or around the same. I want to read a little bit more. My goal for this year, not a clue, but I haven't even read a single book this year yet. This will most likely be my first book. Well, it will be my first book this year. But during May, I want to try and read 4 books. Maybe 5 if I have time, but 4 books. So that's 1 book per week. So the first book, after I finish this one, I want to read Carrie by Stephen King. This is very small. First off, just look at how thin it is. Second off, there are no words. There's hardly any words on these pages, and there's not even 300 pages, almost, basically, but actually, no, there is 300 pages, never mind. This is a very small book. Not a clue if it'll be good. The back says, Carrie may be picked on by her classmates, but she has a gift. She can move things with her mind. Doors lock, candles fall. This is her power and her problem. Then, an act of kindness, as spontaneous as the vicious taunts of her classmates, offers Carrie a chance to be normal, until an unexpected cruelty turns her gift into a weapon of horror and destruction that no one will ever forget. And this is Stephen King's first book. Alright, the next book that I want to read after Carrie is The Sun and the Star. I got this book way back in the summer of 2023. I was gonna read it before I read It by Stephen King. That never happened. I read like 30 pages, but I don't remember. This book takes place right after The Tower of Nero, which is like the last book in the series of The Trials of Apollo. Demigods, Nico D'Angelo and Will Solus must endure the terrors of Tartarus. Ooh, geometry guys. In their attempt to rescue an old friend in this thrilling adventure co-written by best-selling author Rick Riordan and award-winning author Mark Oshiro. So it's written by 2 authors, which is pretty interesting because I don't know if I read a book that has been written by 2 authors, like fully. So it'll be interesting. And then the third one, The Cruel Prince by Holly Black. This is a very like pretty famous book talk book. Very interested in reading this. Like I've seen it all over like book talk and TikTok and YouTube shorts and whatever. So not exactly sure what it's about. Jude was 7 when her parents were murdered, and she and her 2 sisters were stolen away to live in the treacherous High Court of Fairy. Sounds a lot like this over here. Not like the plot, but like the High Court. 10 years later, Jude wants nothing more than to belong there, but many of the Fae despise humans, especially Prince Cardan, the youngest and wickedest son of the High King. To win a place at court, Jude must defy him and face the consequences. So there's Fairy. That's like Fae. It's like literally what's in here. So yeah, there's about 400 pages in this book, I think. Something like that, I don't know. So this will be the 3rd book that I plan on reading. Now things might change, but as of now, it'll probably be the 3rd book. And then the 4th book that I want to read, minimum of 4 to 5, 4 or 5, if I have time. You know, it depends. Like this book, if this takes a lot less time, then who knows. But there's a couple options. And honestly, like any of those books that I just showed could be swapped with these options. My bed is squeakier than a freaking door at midnight. Like it's so bad. So the first option is another book talk book, Caraval. So I don't know what this one's about. Oh, it's pretty long. I'll read it. How about this? Scarlet Dragna has never left the tiny island where she and her sister Tella live with their powerful and cruel father. Now Scarlet's father has arranged a marriage for her, and Scarlet thinks her dreams of seeing Caraval, the faraway once-a-year performance where the audience participates in the show, are over. But this year, Scarlet's long-dreamt of invitation finally arrives with the help of a mysterious sailor. Tella whisks Scarlet away to the show. Only as soon as they arrive, Tella is kidnapped by Caraval's mastermind organizer, Legend. It turns out that this season's Caraval revolves around Tella, and whoever finds her first is the winner. Scarlet has been told that everything that happens during Caraval is only an elaborate performance, but she nevertheless becomes enmeshed in a game of love, heartbreak, and magic with the other players in the game, and whether Caraval is real or not, she must find Tella before the 5 nights of the game are over. A dangerous domino effect of consequences is set off, and her sister disappears forever. Welcome to Caraval, but we're getting swept too far away. Sounds kind of like the Hunger Games in a way, a little bit. Kind of interesting. So either that book, this one, or Aragon, and then there's one more. This is about a boy. He finds a dragon egg in the forest, and it's kind of like Kingdom. It's pretty classic fantasy. But the cool thing about these books, so this one is Stephen King's first book he ever published, which is pretty similar because I want to publish my first book within the next, maybe like 5 years or so would be pretty nice, or like you know, when I'm around like 20 to 21, so 3 to 4 years would be nice. Now, Christopher Poloni, Christopher, he wrote this book when he was 15 years old. So, I wrote my first book when I was 14 and 15. So, it's kind of interesting. This definitely became a bestseller, so maybe I could become a bestseller too. You never know. But yeah, so I read this book back in 5th grade, but I don't remember anything really. So yeah. Now the last, and I mean there could be other books that I end up reading. Everything, you know, could change, but as of now, the other book that I want to maybe read out of the choices is this one. It depends. This is the sequel to A Court of Thorns and Roses, Court of Mist and Fury. Depends how much I like the first book. If I really like it, then I'll read this one. This is basically like 2 books in one because it's just that big. So it, you know, it could definitely be, if it doesn't work out, then it doesn't work out. But, you know, it could be a challenge, and I like challenges. So, you never know. But I'm not going to read the back of this book because it's a sequel. So, yeah. But I'll most likely read these 3 books, and then whatever one of the other books, or 2, or pick a different book in my book collection or whatever you want to call it. But yeah, I'm obviously not gonna be reading like thick tomes like freaking Words of Radiance or Lord of the Rings or whatever, or Song of Ice and Fire. I'm not gonna be reading that. So, or The Stand by Stephen King. So yeah, picked, you know, not crazy, like, I mean, these are probably the shortest books I have, to be honest. So yeah. Other than that, I also want to try and finish part 2 and interlude 2 of my fourth book. So by the end of May, I'm currently at almost 260,000 words. The rest of part 2 should be about anywhere from 50 to 100,000 words. It'll probably be more like the 60,000 words, or even less, honestly. It might be 50,000 words, I think. Could be even less, but about 50,000 words. And then interlude 2 will probably be about maybe 10,000 at most. So it could be anywhere from, it'd probably be, my guess is around a nice like 70,000 words is a good guess, but still have the rest of April, so probably end up writing like 10 to 20,000 more words left of April, and then, which would then bring like 50,000 words or so in May. I'm not too worried about the writing, honestly. I mean, that it just happens. Writing is like second nature. It's a habit. Reading, on the other hand, is not as much of a habit as I would like it to be. So that's what I'm gonna try and do. Read more. I'm gonna read this book tonight. So I'm currently on page 126. Try and get to at least like 150 probably. We'll see. And yeah, so tomorrow, plan on making a video. Not a clue what it will be about, but we'll see. Maybe I'll get to 10,000 words, or 260,000 technically, because I split my book into 2 Google Docs. So I'm currently writing on the second one, so it looks like there's a lot less words. It says only like 8,000 because it's split. So yeah, that is it for day 865 my self-improvement journey. Tomorrow when I make my video, I'm not going to sit on my bed because this thing is literally so squeaky and it's annoying me. Like, every time I move, it's just like squeak, squeak. So, yeah, but I hope you guys have a great day. And don't forget to follow your dreams. Goodbye.